Hey, this is Steve Keys here with Keller Williams Capital District here with another episode of Hey, How's the Market? This week we are doing Washington County. This is going to be the monthly review for the month of October 2023. All right, so we're going to try and see if we can do something a little bit different. I've got the trend charts going. We're actually going to look at those this month. I know I just did Washington County for a weekly review. I'm trying to stagger the weekly reviews and the monthly reviews, so hit all the counties over the month and all the counties over the weeks. And since I look at Washington County the most, Washington County and Rensselaer County anyway, it's just easier for me to do this one right now to have the chart set up. All right, so Washington County. So highest total active properties, we had Cambridge and Hudson Falls in the lead. Whitehall came in at second. Highest number of pending properties this month, Hudson Falls took the lead on that one. And then we had Granville and Argyle coming in at second place. Highest activity in the price points, 200 to 300 took first place, and 150 to 200 took second place. That's pretty much the same thing every month. They just flip-flop, at least in Washington County. Best school district to sell a home in, technically, is Putnam. But if you look at it, they only had 2 active properties in the entire school district. So not exactly what you call a large sample size. Hudson Falls came in at second place. That's really probably the best one. They had 28 total properties in the school district, and they were coming in at 43%. So that's probably your first one. Maybe the second one. We've got Fort Edward here at 40%. Again, they only had 5 properties, so not really a great sample size. Argyle is probably the next best, coming in at a third. Worst school district goes to Hartford at 12.5%. They only had 8 properties. Here's an interesting one. Second worst, though, is Cambridge. Cambridge had the highest number of total active properties. So they had the most inventory and stood almost the worst chance of selling a home. For your price points, best price point to sell was the 150 to 200, and second place goes to 100 to 150 at 36%. Highest sale in the school district was Whitehall School in the county was Whitehall School District, but it was in Lake George, so I don't know. That kind of doesn't count. Lake George is always going to throw this stuff off. All right, so let's look at the trends. So here's an inventory. This is just the beginning of the month inventory to the end of month inventory. So you can see we started here at December, and then we were heading downwards until we got to April, May time frame, and this is where we switched and started heading back up. End of month wound up on top over beginning of month. And then here when we got to September, it switched back. And now we've had 2 months in a row of end of month inventory being lower than beginning month. You can see that anytime end of month is less than beginning of month, inventory goes down. So this looks like it might indicate that that is the direction that we're heading. Another useful thing to point out at here, I guess not really trend-wise, but just interesting to note, we are lower here. September was our high point before we started dipping. We are lower here in September than we were back when we started in December. So it looks like we might be starting that downward trend, but we haven't even gotten back to where we were in December at our high point of inventory before we've already started dipping down. All right, next chart here. This is monthly inventory. So this is the total actives, the new pendings, and the new solds. So if these colors don't work out, please send me a message and let me know. I know I said I don't check this stuff, but I've had 2 weeks of this not launching the way it was supposed to, so I'm checking it. So if the colors don't work, let me know. And the blue seems like it might be a little bit difficult, even on my screen. All right, so here's the total active. So it's very similar. You can see the moving average is following the same path as the previous chart. The linear trend shows that it's going in an upward direction, but moving average, which is the dotted line, shows that it looks like it might be heading down. Same thing with the pendings. Linear average shows them both going in an upward direction, although sold is barely up. But the moving average, so these may be starting to dip a little bit, if not leveling out. Skipped one. Expired cancels. This shows this is going up. Even the moving average shows it going up. We got some high flyers that are, pulling it in funky directions. But it's still going. It shows it's going in an upward trend. Average days on market for the actives, pending, and sold. I try and keep the colors the same. So active is blue, pending is orange, and sold is gray. You can see all of these are starting to trend down. If we're looking at moving averages, though, it doesn't, not that it's heading back up, but it tends to show that they might be stabilizing. So it doesn't look like it's going to continue on that downward trend. We may have found our happy medium as to where, hey, this is where things should be. Well, I don't know how long it'll stay like that, but all right, here's average price. So this is just the pendings and the solds. This shows that it is slowly but steadily increasing, going in an upward direction. I've said before in other things that generally the trajectory of the American economy is upwards and to the right. Like it's just a consistent upward trend. So if we have a gradually increasing trend, that is something that I would consider stable for our market. And the last one here is list price to sold price ratio. This is one of those numbers that's only on the monthly chart. So you can see that this is going in an upward direction. So when we started, we were just a little bit above 90%. So that means that we were selling for properties were selling for about 10% less than they were listed for on average. And you can see that number is yeah, I've actually figured out which way this needs to go. We've actually, it's shown that it is going in and up. So we're getting closer to that 100% point. Honestly, this number is more in line with our agents tend to overprice in that school district or county or something. That's kind of what I'm looking for when I look at this number. So this is showing that Washington County, on an average, agents are getting closer to what the price should actually be. All right, so that's it for Washington County. It shows me a little bit longer than I wanted to go, so maybe I won't keep this format in the future. I don't know. All right, so if you'd like to receive this information on a weekly basis to your email, you can subscribe. To do so, there is a bit.ly link in the description of this video. You can just click on that, fill in the information, and I can send this information to you on a weekly basis whenever you want it. So that has been this week's episode of Hey, How's the Market? Thank you for joining me. And please tune in again next week as we take a look at the numbers and answer the question, hey, how's the market? Bye-bye for now.